everybody. So I was asked a while ago if I was going to be making more videos, and the answer was yes. So I'm going to be making videos. I'm not making videos on this Le Mans. We're doing tubs on the inside, outer wheelhouses, and quarters. I'm doing the driver's side right now. Then it's going to go out for a break until next spring. However, I might show a couple of shots of that, but that car is the van. However, I'm going to do a mod to the back bumper because I don't like the way it sits right now, but I don't like the roll pan on these. I'm leaving the license plate and the door handle for now. Eventually, I might shave it and do a different door handle, but I've shaved one of those before on an Astro. Man, that thing created some problems. So you can see that it doesn't quite lay out flat all the way right now. That is due to the transmission crossmember. So it needs, so right now to be functional, it needs a gas tank, a fuel tank in it again. I was making one out of aluminum. I think I'm abandoning that, and I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to modify a factory tank to fit in that van. I'm going to try anyway. Some of this van is a little bit of trial and error. I will show off the rear suspension and everything I did back there. However, I think most of that's always going to be hidden. So I'm kind of still going back and forth on, do I just paint it with Pour 15? Call it a day. Do I pull everything apart and powder coat it? Either way, everything's got to come apart again for paint and finish and everything like that. No matter what. So which way I go, I don't know. Right now, anyway. I have a whole plan for the interior. I have a whole plan for sound system and everything like that. Everything is planned out to the T on this van. And we're going to walk around the van here right quick. It is bright out here. It is a beautifully gorgeous, gorgeous fall day for it being November 16th here in the Mitten State. It is absolutely gorgeous. But I'm going to flip this around and I'm going to show you what's going on with the van, what we're going to do with the van, and explain a little bit of how we're going to do it. I don't want this episode to drag on because there's no real work going on today. There's just a little bit of setup and some cleanup on the van from it being outside all summer. So here we go. Yeah, like, I love that about this van. I am 5'7". I'm gonna say 5'7". 5'7" feels good. In reality, I think it's 5'6", but 5'6". But the fact that this van is this tall, I freaking love it. So here we go. All right, here is the van. Let's go out to a broader perspective. Here is the van. Now, there's a start of the wheel tub, inner tub for this Le Mans. As you can see, this thing is gonna need a full tub and a little bit of rust repair up here in the trunk. So this used to be solid. So here, this used to be solid all the way across here, and this was hidden. So seeing how it's open like this, I'm just going to build the tub right to this brace, and then I'll come in here and make a back panel to it, and that'll be just fine. So the van, just get down here on the floor. Just get it on the floor. Get it on the floor. I don't even know if you can see it. Right there is the transmission crossmember. It is sitting right on the transmission crossmember, and it's keeping the whole van off of the ground. Well, we can't have that. So the first thing to do is going to be this transmission crossmember. After that transmission crossmember, then maybe we get this to tuck down a little bit more. So the first things to happen are going to be this. The very first steps are going to be transmission crossmember. And then you can see that my wheels turned out to the passenger side. Well, the driver's side is the exact same way. When they did the drop spindles, the tie rod arms on the drop spindles are in a little bit further like that than the factory ones. So automatically the wheels point out. They toe out on both sides. So I'm gonna have to make some adjustments to that. So that's going to be it. Transmission cross member. Adjust those tie rods in. And notch for the tie rods because they are in the way. So right now, this is where I'm sitting with the back of the van. It's a mess. There's parts all over the place. But I do have everything I need, like I said. I have in here, I've got compressors. I've got a stainless tank. I've got sport mirrors. I've got my little Larry's foreplay, thanks to Rick's Rangers. And I think I'm going to put that right over here on this side by the brake release. This will never be used anyway, so yeah, it won't even have e-brake cables on it. I think I'm going to cover that right here and just put them here all lowrider style. And then, like I said, have audio plans. This thing has, what, 96,454 miles on it. So, I'm going to do the cross member. I'm going to notch for the tie rods in the front. And then I'm going to set it back down and see where it sits. And then pick it back up and cut whatever needs to be cut. Set it back down and see where it sits. That's just going to be the process on this thing. If I have to Z the subframe, then I'm Zing the subframe. You know, I will put it up in the air as far as I can. Put the cherry picker on the front, hold the motor in place, and drop the whole subframe right out. Z it and put it right back and cut whatever needs to be cut. So that's just going to be the goal. Just cut whatever needs to be cut. And then I have a couple other modifications that I'm keeping secret for right now that I do have plans on doing. Whether or not they get done right now this year or not, I don't know. But this thing needs to lay all the way out. I need to get a gas tank back in it. Shocks on all four corners in the air. The air management all hooked up. And it's running and driving again. Brake lines, fuel lines, you know, just a couple of the new lines, bleed the brakes, and this thing would be running and driving again. So that's it. So that's where I'm at. That's what we're going to be doing. Today is all about trying to clean this up a little bit, get it in the air. I've got to go in like an hour and pick my little brother up from the airport. He's coming in to visit myself and my mom. So that comes first. But from here on out, minivan Sundays, that's the plan. Maybe a little bit of football, but spend some time on this thing every Sunday. Once this thing's done and out of here, I got something else coming in that I do think we're going to do episodes on. Or at least some reels or something like that on. I don't really know what that picture really looks like or how that's going to go. But that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. Hope you stick around. Like again, you know, smash the follow, the like, the subscribe, the ding, you know, whatever. Time to tear into this thing. See ya.